Welcome back, YouTubers, to the second WrestleMania review in this WrestleMania review series with us, the British Fist. I am Mr. Parkin, the Right and Honourable, and also right and doubly as honourable. It's NJ sitting next to me.
What's up?
Indeed, and like I said, we're going to be reviewing WrestleMania 15. Make sure you guys subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts on this WrestleMania down in that comment section below.
Make sure you contact us in the link to the British below.
Yeah, any good thoughts on this WrestleMania would be a positive, because I really didn't feel that after that good WrestleMania 14 we got, I really didn't feel this was anywhere near as special, or anywhere near as good. It just had no big time feel to it at all. It had 10 matches, had 3 hours, and this really did seem like it needed to go 4 hours, and the year after that it did go 4 hours.
With this, again, going to a WrestleMania hoping for big and better things, and this didn't really give us what we expected, so
lack of a big time feel, I think, is a massive thing. Especially after that WrestleMania 14 we had, which had seemed to have so much in it and so much variation and stuff. This just... Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler on commentary. Jerry Lawler, Michael Cole was there. I think JR with his balls palsy, or whatever it's called, cerebral palsy, couldn't commentate. Well, he did for the main event, but my first WrestleMania with Michael Cole on commentary.
Interest for him.
Yeah, compared to what he's like now. He was like a little kitten back then. We'll start with the opener then. Al Snow versus Billy Gunn versus Hardcore Holly for the WWF Hardcore Championship. You could stick any 3 guys in the ring together for the Hardcore Championship and still get a decent match out. This was an okay opener. I mean, it wasn't the best Hardcore match I've seen, but it's still a decent opener.
No, when it comes to Hardcore matches, again, I predict that anyone can interfere in the Hardcore matches. You could have any champ, any going on.
Yeah.
They just stuck it to a match, 3 wrestlers, and with the rest they were going in, I think they chose Hardcore Holly. Okay, you know, he's mad about the Hardcore.
Anyone else who wasn't involved in the pay-per-view was kind of here, weren't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Billy Gunn gets the victory. Interesting thing, Billy Gunn later that year would win King of the Ring and really go nowhere with his career. He was only really ever really good when he was with some guy in a tag team, really, wasn't he? Like Road Dogg, for example.
Yeah, Hardcore Holly picking up the win was, again...
Random, but okay, I guess.
Again, we had to absolutely dominate, but the Hardcore Holly picking up the win, it was something big for him, and again, the match itself wasn't the best Hardcore we've seen. Al
Snow had that whole head gimmick going on. That was funny as well. That was over as hell, wasn't it?
It was.
After that, we had a tag team title match. Now, on Sunday Night Heat, this is how badly built up this match was. You had Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett, who were the tag champions. D'Lo Brown and Test won a 21-man battle royal on Heat to become number 1 contenders. It didn't even involve tag teams. It just involved singles wrestlers, and then them 2 were the last there, so they got the tag title shot. That's how badly built this was. You had to determine the number 1 contendership on Heat. My God.
It was kind of rushed, again, instead of building it up to this special event, which is WrestleMania. The thing I want to know from you people is 21, if it's a tag team, there's 22 going on there. But anyway, the match itself...
4 minutes says it all, really.
It was kind of rushed a bit. Again, they worked well together, tagging each other in at right points, but it just weren't exciting or anything.
I mean, D'Lo Brown and Test weren't even a tag team. They had the whole brawl between them. And compared to the tag match we had last year between Chainsaw Charlie, Cactus Jack and the New Age Outlaws, this was fucking shit. I'm sorry, it only got 4 minutes, and the whole build towards it was crap. It didn't get enough time, they had to cram so much into 4 minutes, it just was like, Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett got the win, wow, it just felt like a Raw match.
There was no meaning to this, not I know it's for the tag titles and all that, there was no meaning to the actual match, so I didn't really like it as much as I should have.
Next we have the Brawl for All, Butterbean versus Bart Gunn with the special guest referee Vinny Pazienza. This was WWE's way of trying to appeal to a sort of like a more boxing, fighting audience with Butterbean, who was a kind of a massive star in those days because he was a super heavyweight that won various super heavyweight titles, so he could just knock a guy out. And then in the other corner you had Bart Gunn. Did you even know who Bart Gunn was before you even watched this pay-per-view?
No, I did not.
Neither did I. You know, this is funny actually, because this was the last time we would see Gorilla Monsoon at a WrestleMania, and he got a massive pop, didn't he, that guy? He was so popular and great commentator, that guy. Shame this is the last time we'd see him, especially with his deteriorating health.
With him being named, the crowd went ballistic. They really loved him, and again, it was great to hear, because obviously we need good crowd reaction at this pay-per-view, especially for him.
Yeah, because this match didn't get it, did it? this one, in like 30 seconds, Butterbean just smashes Bart Gunn. Legit as well, you could just see it go, oh god, I don't know. Did this entertain you, or did this just bore you? Because it just...
Again, I just thought it was filler, just put in there for the band that did like boxing and that, but I didn't really like it.
No, neither did I. It was shit. Let's just go on to the next match. Mankind versus Big Show. The whole story around this was that the winner would be the special guest referee for the main event. Now, your main event at WrestleMania is a big deal, right? So, why have you not determined already who the special guest referee is for this match? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, this seemed just a way to get these two on the show. You know what I mean? It ended in a DQ. I mean, God.
The thing about this match, you see the rebound heat, so they did continue the match and build up to this. But the match itself, it just didn't feel important.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, Big Show dominating that, but it's just, I don't feel the importance of this match. Yes, it's for the main event, but I just don't feel it.
No, it just didn't feel like a WrestleMania match at all, did it? You had Big Show using the chair, he doesn't get DQ'd, which is ridiculous, and then he chokeslams Mankind on chairs, gets DQ'd, and then you have the announcement that Mankind is going to be the special guest referee, and Big Show then, McMahon comes out post-match, Big Show hits him, and then it's like, oh, well, who's going to special guest referee the match now? And it turns out that no one did really special guest referee the match, so what the fuck was the point in this?
This match was pointless. Again, at the time, it held its point for the main event, but the match, when it came to Vince McMahon coming out, it just scrapped the whole match. The match was gone like that from the card.
Okay, we'll just go on to the next match. The Fatal 4-Way match for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Road Dogg versus Shamrock versus Goldust versus Val Venus. Now this 4-way here seemed to revolve around Shamrock's little sister, Ryan Shamrock. What did you think of the match though? You had the whole thing with Venus and Shamrock fighting outside the ring. At least this match got some time. I mean, God, compared to the first 4 matches, at least it's got 10 fucking minutes.
But it opened up quite entertaining. You had Road Dogg and Val Venus on mic. The others just came in.
No!
So as we said before, the match itself, again, for Intercontinental, having all these wrestlers involved, it made the match, or part of WrestleMania, interesting because they were concentrating on Intercontinental. The match, again, I was entertained by it because they had good wrestling from all the wrestlers. Yeah, King Shamrock still had his gimmick of being frustrated.
Frustrated, yeah. I think, just one thing I'll point out here, you look at this, you've got Road Dogg, great talker on the mic. Shamrock, this legit fighter. Goldust, this really unique character. Val Venus, a ladies' man. You've got so much character variation here, which for the Action Day was pretty famous for, wasn't it? And this was an elimination match as well. So it was decent. It was a decent match. The best match of the fucking first 5.
Yeah, this match had quite a bit going for it. Again, they showed how important this match was by having the mic time. Them all going for each other. The ones outside the ring bringing in that.
Road Dogg gets the win.
Yeah, Road Dogg getting the win. That was so good. Obviously, with him, I think he's the one from the time who deserved the belt and was going to hold on to it, and people liked him to challenge.
And DX were pretty over at the time, so why not have this guy win? You have the Ryan Shamrock distraction to eliminate Goldust, and so there we go. A bit of overbooking, but hey, it was a decent match, I guess, because you just let them go out there and wrestle compared to the other matches where they didn't really do that. Kane versus Triple H. I think you had high expectations for this match, didn't you? Because you're a fan of Kane, you're a fan of Triple H. The whole storyline here was based on China turning on Triple H, and then in the match ends in a DQ, so that Triple H can go back to China. It's kind of like, But you had the chicken attacking Kane before the match, and turned out to be Pete Rose from the last WrestleMania. What a great storyline that was, eh? Two stones at WrestleMania. That was entertaining as fuck. I don't give a shit.
That was a good way of starting the match. Again, Kane just laid him out, and it came on to the match. And again, I was really expecting more from this, because I think Kane, as his Morton's gimmick good, he did show that during the match by taking whatever was given to him. Triple H, again, I was hoping more from him, because obviously he was leaning towards the main event. And the whole match, again...
It was just in a DQ.
The DQ, it didn't give us a clean winner, but again, it held Kane's monster gimmick is still looking strong, and Triple H back with China, so that led on to Kane things afterwards.
The thing is with this match is you had 2 steel step shots in the ring, no DQ, and then all of a sudden, the pedigree on the steps, and it's a DQ. It's kind of like, what the fuck is going on here? So the DQ ending wasn't very good, but Triple H and trying to back together again. Triple H was pretty over as a face, but later on the night, he would turn heel, but we'll get onto that later, shall we?
Yeah, again, the DQ finish was disappointing, but again, I think it all led on to things that happened after WrestleMania, but the match itself could have been done better.
Sable versus Tori for the Women's Championship. You had Sable at the time who just had this Playboy cover girl shoot, and she was, being this whole, like, oh, I'm better than you gimmick, and then you had Tori who came in as a stalker. The match itself was just, it was shit.
Concentrating on Sable a lot, and how she's the dominant diva, and his huge diva.
Nicole Bass, helped Sable to get the win. I think they were trying to turn Sable heel at the time, which really baffled me because she was really over.
She was indeed.
I don't know.
And this match, again, for a Divas match, WrestleMania match, it was a surprise to have someone interfere, but the match wasn't special.
Exactly, it was nothing special. That is the theme of the night, really, isn't it? Shane McMahon versus X-Pac in a WWF European Championship match. The boss's son getting on the third match from last. Any surprise there? I'll just say this, though. This match was okay, but how much interference was in this match? It was unbelievable. So I know it was Shane McMahon, but goddamn, how much interference did it take for him to get a win?
The first thing I want to say about this is I'm glad they put all the belts, most of them, on the line throughout WrestleMania.
Yeah.
With the European, again...
She really needs to be on the undercard, European does, in my opinion.
Could have been, the Intercontinental, With the European, this match, the interference did take away from the match, but when it comes to Shane, and he not being a true wrestler, X-Pac and that, having involvement of wrestlers was good. It made it a bit too much. Yeah,
there was a lot in it. It kind of summed up Russo's booking, even though I don't think he was booking at the time, but I don't know. You had Mean Street Posse on ringside, we all know how great of a faction they become. Job of faction number one. You had Test as the corporate enforcer. He became a great star for the WWE, didn't he? Say that sarcastically. You had Shane using the strap in the match. Again, I'm thinking, is that not a DQ? Maybe I'm just being fussy, it's just me. You had Test interference. You have DX interfering and Triple H attacks X-Pac. And all of a sudden we get the feeling that Triple H is joining the corporation. And you're breaking up DX, who was probably one of the most over factions of that period of time. Was that a right decision? I don't think it was.
Well, there's the debate with this, for what I found out, is that Triple H wants to progress onto bigger and better things, so to get involved with the McMahon, it's going to push him to the limit.
And then he shagged the boss's daughter and became a main event star.
But with DX, I think he felt that he had done enough with them. He had a long time with them. He wanted to progress. So I'm thinking, the turn at WrestleMania, why not at WrestleMania have this big surprise? So I thought it was the right thing to do.
I don't know, breaking up DX. I don't know, you could look at it both ways. But then you have Kane coming out to clear the ring. Okay, if there wasn't enough interference in this match, you might as well just bring Kane out there and put more interference in there. I guess he didn't even do anything, but there we go.
No, I think he just continued from the match there early in the night. You know, Kane trying to get the upper hand over China and Triple H. But whatever, it was just too much happening in that one match.
Yeah, and then they were both heel. So at that point, what was the point? But I don't know. But next we get on to probably the worst Hell in a Cell match I've ever seen in my life. Really, compared to what you usually get from Hell in a Cell. Undertaker versus Big Boss Man. Again, this just did not feel like a big time match, did it? Why was this in a Hell in a Cell? I mean, goddamn, this is the worst Hell in a Cell match I've ever seen. Usually Hell in a Cells are career-ending things. This just seemed like it was there for the show. Do you know what I mean? You had the whole Hell in a Cell with Taker Shawn Michaels, great Hell in a Cell. Taker Mankind, great Hell in a Cell. Then you got this at WrestleMania. What bullshit was this?
The thing is, we've got the big video package before showing the rivalry between Undertaker and Undertaker and Vince, and then they added Big Boss Man in, and I'm thinking Boss Man and Undertaker is not really a big headlining match. At this particular moment in time, I think Vince McMahon had to use whatever wrestlers he put his hands on to do this.
Exactly, because a lot of people made their debut at WrestleMania, didn't they, this year? Especially after that whole Undertaker Kane thing. This is a massive downgrade for Undertaker. You know, how are they going to ever live up to the Hell in a Cell matches that they had before? Especially with this one. It's got, 10 minutes? Match wasn't even that good. I really didn't really enjoy this match that much. Undertaker gets the victory, no surprise there. You have the Brood coming down after the match from the ceiling, and then they hang Boss Man. And I was thinking to myself, that's a little bit tasteless. But I guess back then it was all about the attitude.
They tried to add surprise in the match, like handcuffs and all that, try and make it intense, but it was more of a single match than actually using the proper Hell in a Cell itself, so it's disappointing. The ending, again, the Brood getting involved, maybe that came something after WrestleMania, but from the match itself, it added more to the end, and it's just, I think the hanging thing, it was more about actually getting it out there with a big final stop to the end of the match, but again,
just failed.
I don't really care that much.
It just failed, really, didn't it? But then we get to our main event. You had Bossman getting raised up from the cell, being hung, which is a bit like, oh god, nice. Then you had Austin versus Rock. Now, at the time, these were the two biggest stars in WWE. So this was essentially always going to be a great match, wasn't it? I mean, they had 3 matches at WrestleMania. It was basically McMahon's Corporation, which Rock was the head wrestler of, the WWE champion, versus Steve Austin, because McMahon had tried to make Austin's life a living hell after he won the belt. That whole McMahon-Austin feud was a massive feud for that Attitude Era. You had HBK coming out before the match, telling if McMahon to get out, and if the corporation get involved, the title's going to change hands or whatever, even though Vince interfered anyway in the match. Your thoughts?
There'd been no DQ match. They had like no one at ringside, no interference. I'm just thinking it's a no DQ match, anything can happen, but whatever. Sure, whatever. And whoever wants this match. The match itself, again, it was a big match. This was the draw for this WrestleMania. I'm thinking everyone expected this to be a good match, and the way it went, rock bombs, Stone Cold Stunners, it had a lot going for it. Weapon usage again, the big thing of the night.
No DQ, so
they did pretty well. The thing I did not like came at the end of the match when Mankind, who lost his match by DQ, pretended to be the referee.
The thing is about this match, this was a good match between the two biggest stars. You had Austin, who was the massive babyface, Rock, who at the time was the massive heel, who went on to be this big babyface for WWE. You had 3 ref bumps in this match. McMahon tries to come into the ring and help The Rock, and then Austin gets the upper hand and manages to get the victory after Mankind comes in, who lost by DQ and was supposed to be going to the hospital. And Austin essentially wins the match. It was a good match, don't get me wrong, but kind of tainted a little bit. But I guess with that whole McMahon thing there and the Austin McMahon feud, it happened at the Royal Rumble as well with Vince McMahon winning the Royal Rumble. You kind of had to incorporate that into it, as it was kind of, the biggest feud of that Attitude Era and what defined that Attitude Era. But I would have liked it if maybe they just went one-on-one and have Austin win one-on-one.
It would have been a lot better instead of adding too much into this match. Like, they had the whole rule 9 at ringside, so Vince should have stayed out. Mankind lost his match. I think they should have just done it with the ref bumps, but had a proper ref to finish the match and whatever. But again, it was an entertaining match, but it's just the ending kind of was a bit too much.
By far the best match of the night, though, wasn't it? Just because you got 2 stars and it had proper build and it felt like a big time match. The rest of the matches really didn't, in my opinion. So still a good match, maybe marred a little bit by some overbooking here and there, which this pay-per-view was really full of, really, wasn't it? The overbooking, Russo style.
Very silently.
Good main event though, good main event, I'll say that. Overall thoughts on the pay-per-view then, and this was not good, was it?
It had a lot of bigger packages to try and make the matches important, but even when it came to the actual matches, they were overbooked. They had weapon usage that maybe not have been needed. It had involvement of other wrestlers, so there was too much going on in this WrestleMania to try and make it big, make the matches bigger than what they were. So they kind of a letdown, but it all led up to the main event, which kind of saved the ending of the show.
Yeah, I mean, this was a real disappointment in my opinion. You had 10 matches on there, only one of which really felt like a big-time match. You had a couple of DQs, that Mankind Big Show was pointless. There was a lot of filler in this pay-per-view as well. It's almost like they didn't have that much going into WrestleMania. Hell in a Cell match, odd. So, I mean, to me, this was just a massive, especially after WrestleMania 14, when we had such a great defining WrestleMania. This one comes along and it's shit. It just really wasn't that good, apart from the main event. I mean, all the matches disappointed. I mean, even that Triple H Kane match disappointed, didn't it? And so did the Fatal 4 was okay, but, I'm just saying. So, for me, a massive disappointment. I'm going to grade this pay-per-view a E, F, I don't know, just less than a D. It really didn't live up to D standards at all. The main event was good, but it didn't save that from that shitty other 9-match pay-per-view.
I found this pay-per-view quite boring throughout the show. I will say the video packages, the things that were in some of the matches and the main event kind of gave me some enjoyment out of it. Overall, I didn't like it, so maybe I'm going to give it a D, stroke a D minus. I wanted it to be good because it's WrestleMania, but it just the matches didn't live up to what I was hoping.
A massive letdown, I think we'd say, especially after WrestleMania 14. But anyway, you've heard our thoughts on WrestleMania 14. Make sure you get your thoughts on WrestleMania. No, so you heard our thoughts on WrestleMania 15. You heard our thoughts on WrestleMania 14 in the last video. What a fucking box by me there, right by the end of the video. Get your thoughts on this WrestleMania down in that comment section below. We want to hear your thoughts on this in our continuing WrestleMania review series. NJ, as is per custom of our WrestleMania review series, and, well, all the rest of our videos, we're not overbooking the ending. Just clean, straight talk to the audience.
All I'm going to say is that hopefully our review's been more entertaining than WrestleMania itself. All we can say now is leave your thoughts on this actual WrestleMania, the matches, the build, in the comment section below. Just give us what your thoughts are, and hopefully you'll enjoy our next review of WrestleMania 16
2000.
In the comment section below. Yep. Tell us what you liked about this pay-per-view. And that has been it from the British Fist, Mr. Parkin, and me, NJ. Till next time, people. Goodbye.